Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, to Photoshop tutorial. This tutorial is entitled Creating a Black and White Image from a Color Image. First thing that we're going to do is we're going to load our Photoshop into the system. And once we've selected the PS icon, Photoshop will start to do that. First thing that I want to do is to ensure that whilst working in Camera Raw, no sharpening occurs. And to do that, we'll go to Photoshop, go to Preferences, and select General. Under General, you'll find File Handling. And under File Handling, we'll find Camera Raw Preferences. What we want to make sure is that the sharpening that is applied in Camera Raw is only to preview the images. So therefore, it's only in preview. It does not sharpen the image that's transferred to Photoshop. So once we have established that, that will never change, by the way. Once you check your preferences will not change unless you carry out a change to those preferences at a later date. With that done, we're going to load a file into the system, which is then File, Open, selecting where you've actually stored the file, and I have created a desktop folder called Raw Files. So I'm just going to collect the first one. I have got the clippings both in the underexposure and overexposure switched on, and when they're switched on, we will immediately see areas of attention. They'll be highlighted red and blue. What we want to do is we want to select our recovery slider and move our recovery slider to the right, and you will see that the detail that was lost in those areas is now being recovered. I would not be too overly excited about the fact that you didn't get it all out, and if I move it to 100%, that's not happening. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to set it to 80 at the moment. 80 seems to be a reasonable job. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to fix the white balance, and to do that I'm just going to go and pick an area that is grey, and I've picked an area of grey and the white balance is now fixed. At this particular stage, I'm going to export this file over to Photoshop. We do this by just clicking Open Image, and it will automatically open in the Photoshop pane. Within Photoshop, in order to change it to black and white, we're not going to go and select the preset sliders that are already there. I'm sure a lot of people in the audience have used from time to time. What we're going to actually do is we're going to create a mask, and this mask is going to be created from pure black, which is black is 0 on the colors of spectrum R, G and B. R, G and B set to 0 give us black. R, G and B set to 255 give us white. So therefore between 0 and 255 we've got 256 shades of grey on our black and white image, which goes up the gradient from white to black. And by using this, we're going to get, let's say, one of the most accurate methods of creating a black and white shot. Afterwards, we're going to use a little bit of correction to our own taste before we finish that shot off in terms of its black and white presentation. So, looking at this, the very first thing that we're going to do is we're going to create that black area, that black mask. So by selecting the icon at the bottom of the screen, this is this little half moon shaped black and white icon, and then you'll find that at the bottom of the layers palette. And if we click on that, we're going to go and click on solid color. So if I click on solid color, my machine has already been set. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to just put in an array of different values in the RGB. And you'll see when I do that, I'm actually getting colours to appear. Up to 255. So 23 red and 100 green and 255 blue actually gives us a baby blue colour. Okay, what we're actually going to do now is we're going to create pure black. So by entering in 0 into the red and 0 into the green and 0 into the blue, we have actually now created the digital representation of black, which is 0 in all of those areas. You'll find that this has automatically created a mask, and you'll see beside it that there is color fill is flagged on it. So what we're going to do, I'm going to select it. When I select it, you'll find that you've got a little outline around the box. And with it selected, I'm going to pick up the blending modes. And the blending modes are just donated in this little folder, a little drop-down menu. And we're going to select color. And when we've selected color, we have effectively created a grayscale image. I'm just going to bring it up a little in terms of its screen values. And the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to have a look and see if I need to fine tune it, because it will not effectively be the same for every image. You may want it a little darker, you may want it a little lighter, and this is again a personal taste. So if I go into my adjustments and select my levels, I'm going to move my highlights. I'm going to move them over slightly, and then I'm going to compensate the highlights by just moving the mid-tones slightly to the right. At that particular stage, I'm happy with what I've got in terms of a grayscale image. The next thing we're going to do in the next video that we're going to consider, and that is we're going to consider sharpening. Although the image was taken, it's not bad, but I mean, at the end of the day, what we can do is we can apply sharpening to this image in order to exaggerate the features and protect areas that we don't want sharpening to appear. So I hope you will stay with me, and the sharpening tutorial will come up next. Thank you very much. Bye.